Anticipated matchup of the season on Christmas Day. Kawhi and the Clippers, LeBron and the Lakers. So the claw's rested. He should play. The King is questionable with a back injury. He's expected to play.
He's going to play.
Don't look for a gift exchange before the game between these two. An executive describing the relationship as tepid. Quote, I would say there's mutual respect, but that there's an appropriate level of fear as well. They know each other really well, are talented, but there's not a lot of admiration. I don't see them going out for dinner. Broussard, you find that there's a, quote, level of fear in the LeBron-Kawhi rivalry?
I think that was a great quote. I didn't agree with the no level of admiration. I do think he said that when he said there's mutual respect. I think he kind of contradicted himself. I do think they admire each other, but yeah, they do respect each other. If LeBron didn't respect Kawhi, he wouldn't have recruited him the way he did. If Kawhi didn't respect LeBron, he would not have considered going to the Lakers. And if the Clippers don't pull that rabbit out of the hat and get Paul George, I do think Kawhi, just to get to Southern California, would have gone to the Lakers. Now, the fear, that's the big question. Obviously, Kawhi respects and I would say fear knows what LeBron can do. When Kawhi was the MVP of the finals in 2014, LeBron, he guarded LeBron, and that's why he got it. LeBron averaged 28, 8 rebounds, 4 assists on 57% shooting, 52% from 3.
He averaged, you said 28, 8, and 4 on 57 and 52.
Yes.
And Kawhi got the MVP because he held him to it.
Right.
Because Kawhi in that series, was he a monster scorer?
He averaged 17, I believe,
17.
which for him
was a monster scorer.
Yeah, because he was only averaging 12, I believe, that season.
Two games in that series, he scored in single digits. He won the Finals MVP.
It could have went to anybody. You're right.
LeBron once in an NBA Finals scored single digits in a game. It's the worst moment of his career. This was the best moment of Kawhi's. But go ahead, sorry.
But here's the thing, Nick.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
This is a rivalry. This is becoming a rivalry. Kawhi is maybe one of the few players that physically can match up with LeBron in terms of size and strength and athleticism. And anyone else, for the most part, who's been able to do it throughout LeBron's career, say Ron Artest. Artest was a really good player on both ends, but he couldn't offensively do what Kawhi could do.
Andre Iguodala.
Okay, same thing.
Exactly.
Not as big and strong as LeBron. Lance Stevenson, not as big and strong, and obviously they're not. Kawhi is a different animal that LeBron hasn't had to see very much in his career. Now, the thing is appropriate fear. Of course, LeBron doesn't cower at Kawhi, and Kawhi certainly doesn't cower when he sees LeBron. However, there is a healthy fear that has Kawhi, obviously, he knows what LeBron can do. But on LeBron's part, there's a healthy fear that this guy can beat me. And I've got to bring my A game. It's the same type of healthy fear LeBron would have with Boston in the Big Three and with San Antonio when they played him in the finals twice in Miami. I've got to bring my A game because this team or this guy is that good. And I think it's a healthy fear.
So I can't speak to the people's fear quotients. I think there is a level of anxiety that any real competitor has when you're up against another great competitor, another great team, and both of these teams have great competitors and both of them are excellent teams. I can speak to this idea that this is a rivalry. And this is not just an opinion, this is an informed opinion on this. There is almost nothing that's happened in the last decade in the NBA, aside from he feels snubbed on some MVPs and the Defensive Player of the Year award, that irritated LeBron more than the idea that Steph Curry was his equal or his rival. And you saw it. Brian Windhorst just talked about this at length on Bill Simmons' podcast. Thought he did a great job. And anyone that's close to even the tertiary people surrounding LeBron, you know this, I know this. You saw it come out in those 2016 NBA Finals, those couple of blocks on Steph, where he kind of mean-mugged him, shrugged his shoulders, was like, get out of here. I've been the best player for a decade. Everyone now says I'm old and busted. You're young hotness. Not happening. There's a little bit of that same thing going on right now from LeBron towards Kawhi, which is, wait, what? If this was LeBron, Kevin Durant, it's different. LeBron has looked at Kevin Durant not as his equal, but as the closest thing in the world to it. Okay. Would you agree?
Yes, but I think you're underestimating how good Kawhi is. But go ahead.
And I think LeBron also sees Giannis coming.
Right.
And Giannis a decade younger, and they haven't had the battles.
They won't be rivals because he's so young.
Too much of an age discrepancy. LeBron rightfully looks at it and says, okay, so it's a rivalry. When in either of our lives has this guy been on the same plane as me, much less better than me? The answer is last year when LeBron was hurt. And so the idea that all of a sudden there is going that Kawhi Leonard is a player that LeBron looks at as his rival or someone to fear, I think that irritates LeBron in a way the Steph Curry stuff did. I think you'll see some of that on Christmas. I'd love to say you'll get to see when they guard each other, but these days Kawhi doesn't guard the opposing team's best player, so
and LeBron's not going to guard him either.
I think
maybe
you'll see some of it.
Occasionally, right. And if they meet in the playoffs, I think at late in games you may see them matched up against each other. But I hope you're right, because I want this, like I said, this should bring out the best in LeBron. And obviously, Kawhi Leonard is not as good of a player as LeBron historically. But right now,
he's not.
Hold on. He doesn't control a game like LeBron. But he does have something LeBron doesn't have, which he knows I can get to certain spots when it's time to get a bucket. I know if I get to this spot, I'm hitting this mid-range jumper in the middle of the lane on different sides of the paint, and it's money. 70% of the time, I'm going to hit it. LeBron doesn't have that go-to move, as great as he is. He doesn't have that, other than it's just going to be a drive to the basket. Kawhi, when people compare him to Michael Jordan, obviously he's not as good as Jordan, but his game is similar stylistically. He doesn't over-dribble, doesn't dominate the ball, two-dribble pull-up, mid-range stuff, great on both ends. He is an appropriate foe for LeBron at this stage of LeBron's
There's
career.
not just a small part of this at the beginning of the season that LeBron was like, come play with me, and Kawhi was like, no, let's play, not with you, I'm going to play against you.
Let's see how it works out for him.
I am glad he did that, though.
Yeah,
Isn't it better for the league?
It's great for the league. It'll be awesome.
You are salty.
I'm not
salty. I'm just excited to see it.
Would it be a mistake for the Cowboys to make Dak the highest paid quarterback?
This is a great catch by Diggs. I thought it was decent coverage by Jair. And, I mean, just a perfect throw. One of Cousins' big plays in the night.
I was going to say, you weren't going to give him any love for the throw?
That was very good.
You were going to rip him.
Little basketball here, Nuggets and Suns. Jeremy Grant attacking the basket right over Kelly Oubre. Wait, how many times do we get Kelly Oubre in the show?
A lot, either on one end or the other. He makes the show.
He's a nice little player. And look, you like him going up like that. Now, that looks bad.
By the way, does
that look better than if he was standing there?
Yeah, it's less dangerous. But more importantly, the Nuggets, the 2 seed right now. Everyone's favorite team, the Clippers, trying to hold on to the 4. Just desperately be the 5 seed after Christmas. They would smash
the Nuggets.
Okay, well, if they get to play them, they'll be fortunate.
Grizzlies, Spurs, John Morant crosses DeJounte Murray over before hitting a nice little...
It's like every week he does something spectacular, right?
He's awesome, man.
He is.
And fun to watch.
And I think he's in a good spot. I know Memphis isn't exactly a historic basketball team.
Right.
But they're not going to try to rush anything. Grit and grind is over, trying to rebuild surrounding job.
Yep.
Sixers and Pistons, Ben Simmons finishes a crazy alley-oop from Tobias Harris.
Ben can score. I mean, I know that wasn't, that was a great play, but I just want to see him score more, be a little more aggressive.
I think everyone does.
Last night, though, a great game from Ben. 16, 13, and 17. I think it was his career high in assists. He had a really, really good game last night against a bad Detroit team or a Philly team that's still kind of finding its foot.
Detroit's fighting for that playoff spot, though.
All right, let's go back to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he's going to finish the season with career highs in passing yards and touchdowns. Unfortunately, the Dallas quarterback will most likely also finish the season just like my guy Nick here, watching the playoffs from the couch.
Confirmed.
Now the question is whether Dak deserves to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. Cowboys CEO Stephen Jones is ready to go all in on Dak.
We have all the confidence in the world in Dak. We've never blinked on that. And, we've had a very aggressive offer out there every step of the way. And we certainly understood that if he stepped it up, which, I think Dak has given us every opportunity to have success. I'm as bullish about Dak as I've ever been.
And yet they might not make the playoffs. They probably won't make the playoffs at 7-8 at this point in the season. Nick, what do you think? Should the Cowboys pay Dak the $35 to $40 million per year he's rumored to make?
Jenna, I don't mean to question your read at all. Was that Stephen Jones or Dak's agent?
That was Stephen Jones.
Okay. Because
that was Jerry Jones.
Are we sure that wasn't Dak's agent?
I know.
I don't know what these guys are doing. I don't know how they've. My God, one day I'd love to be on the other side of the negotiation with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you're making my case for me. We've made very aggressive offer to Dak, and he's had every opportunity to prove he's worth more. And I think he almost said it. He stopped himself. He's like, and I think he's at every step of the way put us in position. Well, thanks. More money now. The Cowboys are going to make Dak Prescott one of the 3 highest paid quarterbacks in the history of pro football, and it is going to be a massive mistake. There is, we can see the history of this, which is paying guys that you know are good, but not great because you think you have to, and it never works out well.
For fear what? That you'll lose them?
The thing is this. They don't even, because of the franchise tag, you don't even have any credible fear you would lose him for a minimum of 2 seasons. But for fear of setting a bad precedent, not showing faith in him with the locker room, some odd, I don't know. I don't know why the Rams said at the last moment, there's all the money, Jared Goff, when they had no reason to. I don't know why teams seem to be in a hurry to pay guys before they have to at this one position when every other position has to sing for their supper, hold out, beg and plead for every last dollar. I know it's the most important position, but